It's a great show. Lenny's probably the only person ever who's managed to make Van Morrison laugh. I think apart from maybe when he was 3 and somebody came at him with a feather.
He's an interesting guy, though, Van Morrison.
It's a great interview. I mean, you really brought stuff out of him.
Thank you. A friend of mine, John Cantor, told me that he was at a dinner party with Van Morrison, and they were talking about places they've been on holiday and where they like to go, and out of nowhere, Van Morrison said, "I like nipples." Everybody said, "What?" "I like nipples." And he meant Naples. He just couldn't say it. "I like nipples."
I would not like to be his travel agent.
I know, yeah. How funny is that?
That's
good,
fantastic. Man. Or indeed to tweet.
He's a good guy. And he arrived for the interview at Psalm West. And it was really, did somebody order a minicab? He looked like that. I mean, it's like flat cap and he's little and his tummy comes out like this and he just arrives. And you just think, who's that guy? And then he said, can I have a couple of minutes to get changed? And he put on his Blues Brothers hat and his dark glasses and his leather jacket and he went, oh, okay, Van Morrison. It was like his secret identity. His secret identity, minicab driver. And then he puts his cool shit on and he's Van Morrison.
Van the Man.
Van the Man, yeah.
It's a fantastic show. We'll be talking about that later. When I was doing the research for this, I discovered that you've also had a career in comedy, which was interesting.
That's true, yes.
Did a few
it's
things,
a while ago now.
Did a few things in the 80s, were involved with comic relief, all good stuff. But the music thing's clearly taken over. And I did want to ask you a semi-serious question, which is that why is there such a strong relationship between musicians and comedians? Why do they cross over so much?
It's weird, isn't it? I think musicians have time to think of funny shit when they're on stage. And then when they hit the mic, they say stuff and it makes the audience laugh. And I think comedians are on the road all the time listening to their favourite music because it's so boring being on the road. And we also listen to music right up until before we go on stage. So, you know, for me, the So Much Things to Say tour was Bob Marley and Hounds of Love. Lenny Goes to Town was the Average White Band live album, which has got an 18-minute version of Pick Up the Pieces. And there was Where You From was The Faces, the P-Funk Earth tour, and Hounds of Love again. Hounds of Love just seems to go on just before I go on. And it's always the side 2, the 9th wave or the 8th wave or whatever. It's always that because it gets you into a kind of ambient-y. And for quite a lot of time before that, it was just, I didn't have headphones or a computer. I had this enormous boom box. It was like one of those with the steer's horns. It was kind of that big. And that used to go everywhere with me. Every makeup room on 3 of a Kind, every makeup room in the Lenny Henry show. It was just these ghetto blocks where you sort of went, we're listening to my music now. And my music was mainly funk. It was the Brothers Johnson, it was Shaka Khan, it was P-Funk, it was Earth, Wind and Fire, it was all that stuff. And it was very, very loud. And so for me, every comedian you meet, Vic Reeves, and they all want to be pop stars. They all have their favourite music. So Adrian Edmondson, I was in a band called Poor White Trash and the Little Bighorns with Adrian Edmondson, and we split up because of musical differences.
Is he not such a big Funkadelic fan?
He's not a Funkadelic fan, no. And we'd be rehearsing, and he'd be playing. Me and the boys over here playing. And it was a kind of, and the front would meet in the middle, and it was not a good front.
Oh no!
So it was a bad front.